Let's jump right into our Champions League final preview. So it's Liverpool versus Tottenham at Atletico's Wanda Metropolitan Stadium. Noah, who is your pick to win and what's your scoreline?
I got let's say I'm gonna say 3-1, just because. I mean, oh yeah, that's not matter. Just because Harry Kane's not gonna be fully healthy. Also, just we're a better team, I think, player for player, just against Tottenham too. So I mean, we played them twice this season, beat them twice. So.
All right, I've got one thing for you that is a major concern for me, and then I'm going to ask you about your concerns. How does playing at a neutral site affect Liverpool? Because we see them often play very strong at Anfield, and it's a huge advantage for them. Now that they're at a neutral site, how do you think that'll affect them?
I mean, I think it goes both ways. Tottenham wasn't the best away team this whole season too. In the Premier League, we did a pretty good job playing away, considering our record and all that. But it's gonna be hard just knowing that it's gonna be somewhere that's just not home. But at the same time, I feel like the Liverpool fans will show out over there too, like they did in wherever the final was last year.
What's your major concern going into the match? Like, what makes you nervous about the match? Because you've told me offset that you are very nervous.
I am nervous, obviously. It's just the amount of banter that's going to be going my way if we don't get another trophy this season. I mean, just going to be.
What about the actual matchup itself? Makes you nervous? Is there anything that scares you about Tottenham or about the matchup?
Son is just really dangerous, and I mean, he doesn't need a lot of support. He can just go 1v1 and beat 2 or 3 guys, and then go to goal and finish like a fucking banger too. So
is it the matchup with Gomez and Son? Is that what?
Gomez, I think Matip is going to start. So I mean, I don't think Gomez will start, but I think this is not the game for Joe Gomez to go back in, because I mean, the first game he came back, that was against Barcelona away where we lost 3-0. So I mean,
the thing is though, like with Son, if you have Van Dijk in the vicinity, they should be all right. But I would say that is a dangerous matchup because he's proven time and time again against the best center backs in the world like De Ligt that he can beat them and finish.
No one has beaten Van Dijk yet though.
Yeah, so I think. Literally. Is there any other parts of Tottenham that make you nervous, or is it just mainly Son?
I don't think Tottenham's the one to beat us. I think we're the ones to beat us at the end of the day, because I don't think they have a good enough squad to match up against the Liverpool side right now. Just considering the pace we have, the size we have, and the technical ability, I don't think they match up against any of our starting 11. So,
how do you think if Harry Kane were to return? Because there's reports coming in that Kane is likely to
played
months ago, but there's reports coming in that he will likely be on the field. They haven't clarified whether that's going to be starting or that's going to be a late substitution. But how does Harry Kane coming back in for Tottenham affect the game? Do you think that's a big deal or not that big of a deal?
It could be a big deal for sure. I mean, if you look, both of the games we played against Tottenham this year were really, really, really close to. And if you look at the winner we got where Alderweireld scored the own goal too. So, I mean, if it goes down to penalties, that's going to be big because he's a really, really good penalty taker. But in terms of the actual match itself, I don't think he's going to have the biggest impact in the game.
Mm-hmm. So you have 3-1 Liverpool?
Yeah, 3-1 Liverpool.
Okay. Let's move on to Tayo now. So, what's your scoreline prediction for the match?
For that game, I was also going to say 3-1 Liverpool. I think just Liverpool's too good to lose this game, I think. And like Noah said, I don't think it'll be Tottenham beating them. It's going to be Liverpool beating Liverpool because, just match for match, or player for player, Liverpool is just better.
Mm-hmm. Who or what do you think the deciding factor will be? And is there like a clear man of the match that you think will shine in the game?
I think the factor will be Son. If he doesn't play well, then Tottenham has absolutely no shot.
What about for Liverpool? Who do you think will shine?
Probably Salah.
Really? What about you?
I think Mane.
Okay.
Just based off recent form too.
Van Dijk's.
But I think the most crucial part for Tottenham is going to be how compact their back four is, because we know they're really solid defensively, but they have no room for error this game. No room for error. Yeah. So.
All right, now I'm going to give you guys my prediction. I actually have Tottenham winning in penalties.
This dude.
So I think it's going to be Tottenham scores first. Son's going to get a counterattack because Liverpool... Well, actually, no. I see it this way. I see Tottenham scoring first, and then they're going to be compact, but Liverpool's going to be able to break them down because they're so good offensively. So it's going to go 1-1 into extra time. Then both teams are going to play a little more defensive because they're going to know, hey, if we concede, this is likely it. They'll go into overtime and...
Wait, do you see Liverpool sitting back in this game? I don't see them. I think they go full throttle from the start to finish.
Well, I think it's really depends. For me, this game is about who scores first. If Spurs score first, right? Yeah. If they were to score first, Liverpool's going to have to attack, right?
Yeah.
That's going to open them up, allowing them to be more. It makes it easier for Tottenham to counter because they're going to be so spread open, trying to counter, get players forward. Robertson and Trent are going to be flying up the wing, so there's going to be a lot more space for Tottenham to play with the ball, and I think gives them a little more control. Because of Liverpool's quality up top, I think they will still get a goal back. And then that brings us into like what I would think would be an extra time scenario where both teams are going to be a little more timid because both teams are counterattacking teams. And when they do counter, it leaves them exposed.
I think it would be interesting if Tottenham did score first because of the reasons you're saying. Like the game would just be so much more wide open. But I see like Liverpool's going to score 2 first half goals, have a pretty comfortable lead. Tottenham would get one like 70 something, and then Liverpool put the game away late 80s. And then it's just going to be pretty comfortable, smooth sailing for Liverpool the whole time.
I don't know. I just feel like Spurs have showed up for a lot of the big game situations. I'm not saying Liverpool hasn't. They've played in every even at the end.
Look at the last 5 games they played in the Prem. Who did they lose to? Bournemouth. Like a couple of sides that just shouldn't like match up against them whatsoever. Just like a Manchester United scenario where they're losing to the Cardiffs, they're losing to all of the. I'm just saying.
That sounds like a personal attack out there.
But what I'm saying is, Tottenham have not showed. They've showed that they can show up in big games, but they've not showed the consistency. But that's the one thing about this game is that it's a one-leg match too. So I mean, it's just free for all.
How do you think the tactics of the match play in between the two managers? Because you have two very respected managers, Klopp and Pochettino.
Klopp should come out just as he normally do, and Liverpool just super aggressive.
The thing is, he's made some questionable decisions in some of the finals he's been in too. And I mean, in even just some of the big games. In the first leg against Barcelona, he put Wijnaldum as the false 9 to start the game too. And he's had a couple of questionable decisions, and he's obviously not afraid to be bold in these type of games too. But I wouldn't even be surprised if Origi started this match too. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what he does with the lineup, but I don't see him sitting back in any shape or form. So.
I think one thing that has to be said about Pochettino is anytime it comes down to tactics, he almost always gets the tactics right. We can all say that no one expected Spurs going this far in the Champions League. Liverpool had some expectations to make it this far. No one expected Spurs, and when it comes down to, I think a lot of it is they have a solid team with not any really outstanding players besides Kane, who's been out. But also, they have a team that has followed the plan of Pochettino and his tactics.
They're more of a unit compared to most teams, where they have like these three superstars who they give the ball to all the time, and they get the job done. But they play well as a unit. But that's the thing. If let's say do you think Dyer will start the game? Because oftentimes he's prone to making mistakes. Because we can see Pochettino can get the tactics totally right, but at the same time, they're so mistake-prone, Spurs. They always seem to make that one mistake. So,
okay, I'm just gonna pose this question as if Spurs wins the match, not taking a dig. I think Liverpool has a very good shot, but if Spurs were to win the Champions League, what does it say? What would it say about the quality of Pochettino, and where does he stand as a top manager? Because remember, they haven't spent in the last 2 transfer windows, so
I wouldn't be surprised if Barcelona went hard after Pochettino too. I mean, just how much money did he spend this summer, and he got this team all the way to the Champions League final. He got them back into the Champions League with top 4. I mean, he looked like one of the better sides in the Premier League, and he didn't spend a single cent the whole summer. So it just goes to show how good his tactics are. But
where would you rank him? Do you rank him
in the world or in the Prem?
If they were to win the Champions League, if this is a hypothetical,
I think he'd be a top.
Is he better than Klopp? No.
Look at the starting team that Liverpool had out before he came. I think it was some Alberto Moreno, Martin Skirtle, just nobodies, right? So I mean, what he's done with this team is amazing. Not only has he signed, well, he's like obviously like bought players like Allison who were like big money signings, but then you look at Trent, who's come up from the youth squad. You look at Andy Robertson, who was £8 million. I mean, Wijnaldum, who was what 20 million at the time. That was a steal. So I mean, he's made good under the radar signings, but I think since they've started getting the publicity, they've been able to sign the big money signings, which has obviously helped us a lot this past season. But you can't compare Pochettino with Klopp, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Klopp is still a superior manager, even though Pochettino has done something excellent this year.
Yeah.
And frankly, last year the Tottenham played pretty well, but I think Klopp is still way above.
You can't underestimate the fact that Pochettino has gone second in the Prem 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah.
Tottenham, which how many times have they done that? So
yeah.
Noah, okay, if Liverpool were to lose this match, how do you reflect on the season?
It pains me to say this, but it would just be like a waste of a season. Like, this was maybe the best season I've ever watched as a Liverpool fan. Like, we've got probably one of the best starting 11s in the whole world. We've got one of the best coaches in the whole world. I think we have some of the best fans in the whole world with the way that Anfield like brings them back into games. But if we just go trophyless another season, it's just a waste. I mean, it's just happened too many times now. So,
and like the opportunities they had, finishing like 1 or 2 points behind the league, like they ahead in the league for much of the season, much of the middle of the season, and then Champions League, this crazy run, coming back, scoring 4 against Barcelona just to lose to Tottenham.
Devastating.
Yeah. Now moving it back a little towards the match preview, because we've been talking a little bit about what ifs. In terms of the midfield, who do you think will step up for Liverpool, or who do you think needs to step up for Liverpool?
Who do I think needs to step up? I think so. Henderson is actually like the engine of the midfield, in my opinion. So I think he's really underrated in that midfield with the amount of intensity he brings to the table, with the amount of desire he brings. He just does not stop running. The same thing with Milner, but I don't think we should play Henderson and Milner. Just knowing that Tottenham will most likely not have much of the ball, so I don't think we need them to go box to box to box like the whole game. So I think it's more of a.
So you attacking.
Yeah, so I wish we had Keita in this instance, because I think this would be a really good game for him to play in. I think Fabinho would be a really good option, but I don't think that we should go with the 3 that he's been typically going with in the big games, with Henderson, Milner, and Wijnaldum. So I mean, I feel like we should switch it up a little bit too.
And then one last question: how do you feel the experience from last year? Not necessarily the losing part, but just being at this big stage and having to play under the light, and a lot of the team from last year is returning to play this year. How do you think that helps Liverpool?
I actually think Tottenham have the advantage in this case, just because having lost the Europa League final to Sevilla, having lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid, like, those are decent sides, but we need to win a trophy. Like, there's so much pressure on Liverpool to win this game, whereas Tottenham is not really given the chance to win this game, in my opinion. Like,
so they have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose in this instance.
They're along for the ride.
So I mean, I think that's going to be interesting, just to see how Liverpool handles the pressure, which they've been doing all season. But then again, that's the one that matters. So I mean.